One of the biggest fears of any law firm owner is what happens if my practice management software goes down? What happens if I want to switch from one practice management software to another? Will all my data be locked in that system and I won't be able to recover it? A lot of times what happens then is that law firm owners, to mitigate for that risk, maintain two versions of file systems. One on their case management platform, let's say Clio Manage, and another one on Google Drive, OneDrive, or even a physical server. That ultimately means that the staff members need to do the same work twice. They need to upload the same file to multiple locations, and a lot of times that creates issues because they don't really know where exactly to look for files, as sometimes obviously they would forget to do that. Now, there is a very simple solution that is free of charge that you can implement inside of Clio Manage to mitigate for this risk and to back up all of your critical data to a separate location that you will have control of. It's called Clio Manage Data Escrow. This feature will allow you to back up all of the documents that you have inside of your Clio Manage account, stored under all of your contacts and matters that you'll be able to access at any point in time, and also to store all of the entries that you have made inside of your Clio Manage account, such as data about the bills, the contacts, the matters, and the tasks that have been entered into the system. Now, this backup will run automatically on a weekly basis, again, at no additional cost to you from Clio Manage side. The only thing you'll need to pay for is the storage on Amazon Web Services, where this data will be stored, which is just a few bucks per year. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can set it up for your law firm and show you exactly all the steps required to enable that option for yourself. Let's get going. Hey there, my name is Martin Kravchenko, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Swans, where we help law firms build their technology systems right from the get-go so that you can increase profitability and scale your practice. Now, to set up this automated backup option for Clio Manage, we'll first need to create an account in Amazon Web Services, or AWS for short. Now, AWS is a cloud computing platform similar to Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure, and it will essentially help us store all of the data that we have in our Clio Manage account, so that if for some reason something happens to Clio, or you simply want to move the data somewhere else, you have that readily available to you. Now, the accounts for Amazon Web Services, specifically for our application in terms of just using storage, will be very cost effective. You can look up the pricing of it just by typing in Amazon S3 pricing, but what you can see over here is that the price per gigabyte of storage is just about 2 cents, right? So in the case of, let's say, for example, you have 100 gigabytes in your law firm in terms of all your documents and all the data that you're already storing in Clio Manage, that will only cost you just about $2 per month. So very accessible. Now, the process for setting up a new Amazon Web Services account is quite simple. Just type in AWS or Amazon Web Services into Google, click on the first link, you'll land on a page like this, and then click Create an AWS account here at the top. Now, we'll need to define the root user email address, essentially who will be accessing, who will be the admin on this account. So let's set it up. And the AWS account name. Click Verify Email Address. It will send you a verification code to your email, so check that. Once received, just paste it in here, click Verify, and confirm the root user password. Make sure it's something strong. Obviously, you'll be storing all of your information over here. Towards the end of the video, I'll also explain how you can set up multi-factor authentication to make sure that all of your data in here is secure. Once you have defined your password, click Continue. Provide your contact information, either as a business account or personal, so most likely this will be business. Provide your full name, the organization name, the country code and the phone number, and all then the basic billing details. After clicking agree and continue, you'll land on a page like this. It will ask you for your credit card details. No worries, it will just charge you on a pay as you go basis. So whatever you're using of the service, again, that will be likely very small quantity. So just put in your card details and click verify and continue. After you have confirmed your credit card details, you'll need to confirm your identity by either a text message or a voice call. Just put in your mobile phone number and then specify in here the code that you'll receive to that number. I've just received the code, click continue, and then here you can choose your support plan. Just go with basic support, which is absolutely free. Click complete sign up. And just like that, you have your new account up and running. Click go to AWS Management Console. And from here, we'll be able to see all of our costs, any applications we have enabled, and make any changes to our account. Now, before we load any data into Amazon Web Services, let's first set up multi-factor authentication on AWS to make sure that all of our data is secure before we fill it up with everything that we have inside of Clio Manage. So how do we set up multi-factor authentication in here? Very simple. Here at the top, click on your account name, then on security credentials, and here you'll be able to manage your password and any other additional security settings such as multi-factor authentication, right? So as you can see, multi-factor authentication, the moment there is nothing, click assign MFA device over here, give it a name, for example, Google Authenticator. And in here you have a few options. You can either use a hardware token, a passkey or security key that, for example, could be the fingerprint scanner of your computer, or actually an authenticator app such as Google Authenticator, which I most of the times recommend to our clients. Just click Authenticator app over here, for example, click next. Okay, it cannot have any spaces. And then set up your device. So scan this QR code with your mobile Authenticator app. It should give you a code, and so we'll introduce this code over here once that is generated. So let me go ahead and do that. So I just opened my Google Authenticator app. I'll click add a code, scan a QR code. I'll scan the QR code that I see on the screen, and as you can see, we now get some numbers over there, which will be refreshed every 30 seconds. So what we need to enter is the first code that we see over there. So let's say 859609. And then we need to wait for 30 seconds until the code refreshes and enter another one that we're going to see next. Okay, the next code that I'm seeing on my app is 282290. It has just refreshed. Let me click add MFA. And just like that, the MFA device is registered. We can see it over here. We can add more MFA devices, more people need access to the accounts, but now it is both secured by password and this multi-factor authentication using an authenticator app on your phone. So our account is secure. We can now actually proceed to setting up everything that we need to start the data sync in between Clio Manage and AWS. Now, to set up the backup on side of Clio Manage, let's navigate to the Clio Manage web app, click on settings, and then you'll need an administrator account to be able to set it up. But under Clio settings, you'll have this data escrow option. So click on that. And it will ask you for two things, the access key and the secret key for Amazon S3. How do we get those? Let's navigate back to our security credentials page in AWS. Again, that is located under the account name and then security credentials. And then here in access management, click on users. Click create user. Name it something like, for example, Clio Manage Data Escrow. Make sure it doesn't have any spaces in it. Click next. Then in permissions options, make sure to select attach policies directly. And then in the search field, type in S3. And we'll need to enable this Amazon S3 full access policy for this account. We just need this one policy. Scroll down and then click Next. Click Create User. And just like that, we have created a user essentially for Clio Manage to be using, which will allow it access to Amazon S3 to be able to create and upload those files. Click inside of that new user, click on Security Credentials, and then in here under Access Keys, click Create Access Key. Under this use case selection, click Application running outside AWS. Disregard this warning, just click Next over here. Click Create Access Key. And just like that, we have our access key and secret access key generated. Copy each one of them into the respective fields inside of Clio Manage. And then click Save Data Escrow Settings. You'll get a confirmation now that weekly data escrow has now been scheduled to bucket and then the ID of the bucket inside of Amazon S3. And also the status will change to configured. Now, depending on how much data you already have in your Clio Manage account, the process of initial data sync may take a few hours. Once it is completed, it will show here success and then the date and time of the completion of the sync. After that, it will update the data that you have in there on a weekly basis. So how do we actually see that data bucket and access all of those files? Let's navigate back to Amazon Web Services. We can go to the home page. And just then in the search field over here at the top, type in S3, scalable storage in the cloud, click that. And under general purpose buckets, you'll see that new bucket that was created by Clio Manage. If we click into it, we'll see two folders, documents and exports. Documents will contain all the files that we have stored under our account, and exports will actually contain a CSV or files of all the entries that we have stored inside of Clio Manage, as for example, time entries, tasks created by different users, the actual matter details that you have set up inside of your Clio Manage account. So let's give it a few minutes to complete that initial data sync, and I'll show you how it looks like in practice. So after some time, the initial backup has been completed. We can see the status here, success, and then the date and time of that backup being completed. Let's navigate to our Amazon Web Services bucket. I would also actually recommend you bookmarking it so that you can then easily access it at any point in time. Let's first click into exports. And inside of exports, as I explained, we have all the data about our bills, the calendars, contacts, meta notes, and also tasks for the different users. If we want to download any of these files, let's say this matters.csv, we can easily click download over here. And then if we open it up, we'll be able to see the description, custom number, right, display number, all that information about each one of these matters that we have in our account. And then if we want to go back and actually check all of the documents or files associated to those matters, let's click into this documents folder over here. We'll have a list of all the contacts that we have in our system that have files. So importantly, it won't create folders for any contacts or matters that don't have any files added to them inside of Clio Manage. So for example, let's look at this head over here. If we click into it, we'll then see any matters associated to that particular contact, and under it, we'll see all of the files. Now, the files won't follow the folder structure that you've created in Clio Manage. They instead will be saved by document categories, right? So whenever you upload a new file or edit an existing file, you can change the category of that file inside of Clio Manage, and so they'll be sorted by that inside of the backup. And if you click into any one of these categories, you'll have a folder for each one of those files. If you then click into that folder, you'll be able to access the actual document and obviously be able to download it as well to your machine and visualize it. All right, so for example, in this case, right, we have two files that don't have a category, and then we have one file inside of the agreements category. If we look inside of our Clio Manage account, let's click onto documents and then files only. You'll see that we have those three documents. 2 of them don't have a category, and 1 of them is in the agreements category. So all of the data has been correctly synced up to the backup. Now, one last remark that I want to mention is that even so the backup will be weekly, the backup will only be essentially a snapshot of all your firm's data at that point in time, right? So, for example, for the different file versions that you may be uploading to Clio Manage, it will only have 1 file for the latest version of that file that you have uploaded to Clio, right? You can enable bucket versioning inside of AWS, but that is really a more complex topic and also will be more costly to operate, so I won't really be talking about that. If you want to manage document versioning, you can do so directly inside of Clio Manage. If you click on any one of these files and just click View, you'll be able to see all the version history of that files, and you'll also be able to add new versions in here by clicking the plus icon and uploading the next version of that particular file, right? So you can do all of your versioning inside of Clio Manage. The data escrow and the backup will really be more so for disaster recovery. Again, if something happens to Clio Manage itself, right, you'll have that peace of mind that all of your documents and the main data about all of the entries inside of your Clio Manage are backed up to another location that you control inside of Amazon Web Services. Now, I hope that this video was helpful and that you will be able to easily now set up your backup inside of Clio Manage. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments or by connecting to me through LinkedIn. I'll be very happy to help you out. Have a fantastic day and thank you for watching.